Like I said, we've been doing smoke testing at the sanitary sewer system. We started in fiscal year 14. We did 60 miles then. We did 60 miles last year. July 1st, we start the next 60 miles. And then last year, we do 120 miles.
And how does that, what does that tell you?
Okay, smoke testing is, well, this is what it tells us. The first 2 years, we had 254 defects on private property where smoke was coming out of the ground.
You got a picture of that that shows an example.
That's a clean out that's got one, that's a cross connection, probably on a stormwater system. But we had 254 defects on private property, 14 sections of sewer pipe identified as having defects, which resulted in us to use cured place pipelining, reline the pipe, the pipe within a pipe. We did 3,820 feet of that. And then we had 55 manholes with defects, and they've all
You
been
can
repaired.
identify joints that have been separated,
Yeah.
holes, cracks, breaks, anything the smoke would be able to come out.
It's great for lines that aren't real deep. And we got pipe, you know, large diameter pipe, 15, 18, 24, that's real deep, 20, 27 feet down. Smoke won't penetrate the ground from that depth.
But in those cases, you're like TV and those.
That's the second phase when we do CC. And any time when they detect, when they, like in this pipe section, when they find a defect in it, before they line it, they actually run a camera through it, they clean it, and then we see what condition of the pipe is to see if it can be lined with a cured place liner. We're doing a section right now over on behind Meadowbrook as well as Park Lane. We had to do 4 point repairs before we could do the cured place lining.
Explain what CIPP is.
Cured in place pipes. What it is, it's almost like folded in half. It's very flexible. It's on the back of a trailer truck. What they do is they run it, they do a pump around, you do it while your sewer's active. They actually pump from one manhole to another, and they have 2 manholes in between. They insert that that plastic liner. It's got a resin, it's almost like a felt, and it goes from one manhole to the next. Then they plug, the end is plugged, they inject a high pressure steam in that, it expands it, and it causes that resin to form a hard pipe. So it's pretty neat when you see it. They just feed it, and then they go down to the next manhole, do the next section, the next section. But the key is, you gotta CCTV these lines, closed circuit television, that camera that goes down the line, and make sure you don't have any collapsed sections or buckle section of your pipe before you do that. And when we do that, we have to go and do point repairs. We do contracts for point repairs to get those fixed so they can come in and line it afterwards. But it's a pretty unique product. It's been around for a long time.
So when you're done with all this, the storm water will totally be separate from.
Well, we'll get there. This is what we're finding so far. We can only, you know, we've got, and you'll see in the plans, that's the goal. Smoke testing finds, your shallow lines, your service lines. We sent out 254 letters to residents identifying that they need to get a plumber out to fix their lines. I'll put a clean out. And the ones with missing, you know what a sewer clean out cap is? We replaced them the first time, but we sent them a letter saying we replaced them for free the first time. Some of them were busted, we couldn't replace them, so those who got letters, or if they had a busted sewer lateral coming out from the house, they're gonna let us say, you gotta get a plumber out and fix that, that's a code violation. So we got started in next 60, and we tried to focus on the first 2 years at the points we thought we had the most problems. Probably this year, we're gonna get a lot of downtown, which we know there's gonna be problems. We actually did a block downtown before we started this work, because we had odors coming up in buildings, and we found several leaks in an alleyway. We found smoke coming out of a Georgia Power junction box, and it went up the conduit up into the building. It was coming into the building, so it's a pretty neat process. We do all door hangers and everything, notify people, you know, 24, 72 hours in advance they're going to be out there, so they don't notify the fire department. Because if they get calls, we notify police department, I mean, all that's coming.
And again, we're ahead of schedule. We were given 5 years to do this.
We're gonna have it done
Doing it
in
in
4
4. So we're doing 60, 60, 60, and then the last year, we're doing 2 years' work.
And
So-
part of this, you gotta realize, when you look at the immensity or the amount of work that's being done, and the funding that's to it, you can't do it all at once.
Right.
You can only do so much each time. Next slide.